They're marching for choice. They're praying for life. They represent both sides in the divisive abortion debate. Today, the Supreme Court ruled on the abortion case, what it means for them and the country.
Good evening, I'm Paul Duke, and on this special headline edition of Washington Week in Review, we'll review and analyze today's important court decision, a decision that basically gives states more power to regulate and restrict abortions. It does not revoke the right of women to seek abortions under the historic 1973 Roe v. Wade ruling, but it does narrow the scope of that law. Those opposed to abortion are hailing the court's action, calling it a victory for human life. Opponents say the court is turning back the clock, and it's a dark day for women. Linda, as a long-time Supreme Court reporter, is it correct to conclude that after today's decision in which the court upheld most of Missouri's anti-abortion law, that Roe v. Wade still lives, but it lives by a very slender thread?
It is hanging by a thread. The fact that the court did not overturn Roe against Wade today is really not the story, ultimately, because the court made it quite clear that there are no longer 5 justices that continue to regard the essence of Roe against Wade as good law. That's not to say that there were 5 who would vote immediately to overturn it. In fact, 5 didn't, and Justice O'Connor providing, as expected, the key 5th vote for the majority, remained rather ambiguous in how far she would take her long-standing criticism of Roe. But the court, in upholding this quite strict Missouri law, invites other states to come in and pass similar restrictions, even further restrictions. The court at the same time accepted 3 new abortion cases to add to its agenda for the new term that begins in October, and just makes it clear that this issue is going to continue to haunt the court and the American political system for the foreseeable future.
It was a very complicated decision, the one relating to the Missouri law. Lead us through the main points of the decision.
The law at issue was passed in 1986 as essentially a test case with an eye to getting it up to the court and to challenge Roe against Wade. The court dealt with several aspects of the law, not all aspects. The 3 aspects that the 5-4 majority upheld today were a ban on the use of public employees for performing or assisting in abortions, a ban on performing abortions in public facilities, which does not only mean hospitals owned by the state, but even, as is the case in Missouri, a private hospital that just happens to be on leased state land. And the court also upheld a requirement that if a doctor thinks that a pregnant woman is at least 20 weeks pregnant, the doctor must perform certain tests to ascertain the viability of the fetus.
Linda, what's the bottom line for women outside of Missouri? Abortion clinics reported today that they were getting hundreds of calls, or at least dozens of calls, from women saying, I want to get my abortion right away before it's made illegal.
No, I think that's a little premature, but it's clear that state legislatures can act almost immediately in passing these kind of restrictions. Now, nothing in the Missouri law actually bars a woman who has a private doctor from going to a doctor's office and having an abortion. That's still legal in Missouri, that's still legal everywhere in the country, and that would be a further case that at least a plurality of the court today is certainly inviting. And that's the ultimate test that may be coming along the line.